All right, so Spider-Man Far From Home opens up in just a couple of weeks, and Sony is clearly banking on this movie being a success. In fact, they are doing away with the review embargo next week. You're going to find out what people are going to think about the movie. I'm clearly going to break down what they've said about it on Rotten Tomatoes, and people out there are going to lose their mind over this film. And I think a lot of that has to do with Endgame specifically, because they're talking now, this is the new box office projection saying that Spider-Man Far From Home eyes a $150 million plus holiday weekend debut. Now, the movie opens up on the 2nd instead of the 5th, and so it's opening up early in the week versus the end of the week as it was originally announced, which does very, very, very well in regards to getting it out before the July 4th holiday rush. And if you don't believe me on that one, go and look at any other movie that opens up right around this time. It's always a midweek release because they want to capitalize on people having the day off of work on the 4th and going out on the night of the 3rd in order to see a film. So it says here that the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man couldn't stay away from theaters for too long. Coming off the heels of his emotional appearance in Endgame, Tom Holland's web-slinging hero is back to multiplexes over the July 4th holiday weekend. According to early tracking, Sony's Marvel Comics-centric entry is expected to earn $154 million during the first 6 days of release. This year, Independence Day falls on a Thursday, so the studios are getting a jump by opening the film on a Tuesday, which, like I said, it's actually really good. Kids are out of school, parents are going to be off work, it's going to be warm out, why not go see a Spider-Man movie? And everyone already went and saw Endgame, and so you just want to know what's going to happen next. It's the slingshot effect. It's absolutely the slingshot effect. Now, the number could fluctuate over the next 3 weeks until the comic book adventure arrives on the big screen, although it looks to be a boost from his 2017 predecessor. Now, it is a direct sequel to Homecoming, and it's the 23rd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and also the closeout of Phase 3. It follows Peter Parker, who's on a trip to Europe and gets recruited by Nick Fury to help Mysterio fight the elementals. It's going to be a good time. But let's talk about the money he's going to earn here and why he's going to earn that much. So coming over here to Box Office Mojo, we can see that Avengers Endgame has a domestic haul as of today or yesterday of $826 million domestically. That is a lot of money. And $2.73 billion worldwide in the span of just less than 3 damn months. This is like, has it beat Titanic or beat Avatar? No, but is this the biggest movie of all time? 100%. And so less than 3 months ago, or just over 3 months ago, by the time Spider-Man Far From Home comes out, people are still going to be reeling from this. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney makes a push back into the theaters in some aspects, or take whatever this is still playing and does a big marketing push before Spider-Man Far From Home in order to get people hyped up to go and see it. It makes a lot of sense to spend a little bit of extra money promoting Endgame one more time in order to get the slingshot effect to take it into that $154 million territory. Even though Disney gets none of that money, Marvel gets none of that money, it is good for the brand because the brand could then sell merchandise. And again, using that to make more money for Endgame, which they clearly own. And then coming over here to Spider-Man Homecoming, we can see from back, this is from a couple years ago, it had a total domestic gross of $334 million. And that's pretty good. It's opening, I think we see here its opening weekend back 2017 was a gross of $117 million when it opened up. So this is looking to seriously increase or boost off of what it previously did, which is great. At the same time, what's going to be fascinating is to see whether or not it can beat that $880 million worldwide box office haul that it's got right here. $880 million worldwide is a good bring-in for Spider-Man. For Spider-Man Far From Home, for Spider-Man Homecoming. I am a little bit concerned about Spider-Man as a brand, just because looking over here at Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, we can see here that the movie did not do as well. Now, granted, this isn't an MCU film. This is something that's totally in its own world, but it did win Best Animated Feature, and so people might have seen it. But again, it had a $90 million production budget, and it made $190 million domestic and only $375 million worldwide, which is not a lot of money. So my question then becomes, are we going to see something along the lines of there being like, well, perhaps Spider-Man fatigue? And that could be a reality. We could be having too much Spider-Man, and it could not work that well with the audiences. Now, for those of you out there that are going to go, but Matt, Endgame, I'm going to agree with you right there. I'm just kind of bringing up an alternative in that particular regard. Yes, it could entirely have everything to do with Endgame it being as well as it did. or it doing as well as it's going to do. So, you know, Homecoming is a good movie. It's not the best Spider-Man film. It felt like kind of a middle movie in a trilogy, to be honest with you, not the start of his own trilogy. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that we didn't get his origins. He just kind of dropped us in the character. And it's possible that that had a lot of trouble really resonating with people, you know, and because they're used to these origins, and there's no origin. We've already seen the story, right? So you don't need to see it. But at the same time, a lot of audiences perhaps liked the story. So that being said, we did get a lot of him with Infinity War, and a lot more of him with Infinity War, as well as the little bits in Endgame, and people really have warmed up to Tom Holland. So in the 2 years since Spider-Man Homecoming, he could have really boosted up the image. So I don't know what's going to happen. 154 million does feel like a good solid 6-day opening. I hope it doesn't crash and burn like Godzilla or like Pikachu or like X-Men. I hope it actually does well and lives up to the expectations. I know I'll be there opening night. What about you? Let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. Do me a favor, if you made it this far, type in Spider-Man in the chat so I know. Have yourself a great day, guys. Please thumbs up the video, and peace out.